What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. Hope you guys are surviving the markets. If you time it correctly, then you're a genius. Uh, good, good move for you. But if you don't take profits, you are being way too patient. So, which big rip yesterday out of kind of nowhere. We just opened up. It was a little bit of a retest gap. It took forever to retest. A lot of times you want to see those retests right at open. We didn't get that. We just got some sell off. We hit a double bottom. As soon as that double bottom in the market was put in, then we just ripped like crazy, making highs of the day. Then we came in for that retest, and then within a short 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, we gave it all back into the close. Then we started ripping a little bit after hours, starting to push up again, and now we've given everything back on a short time frame. Watch for this 574.70. If we are going to make a retest of kind of where we broke out from, that would be the spot. Only problem with that one is that's exactly where we already retested yesterday in that 30-minute end of the day sell off, and now maybe that is a little bit weaker, a little bit easier to break down, and all those moving averages are still on us. So if we flip this thing to a daily chart, we had the retest. It looks like a perfect, yeah, of course, that was the retest. And then it all started to drop from there. Mustafa's blaming his Wi-Fi for Clarice beating him into YouTube land today. Interesting. Interesting. Just say congratulations, Clarice. You're the first one in YouTube. You don't have to come up with the excuses, Mustafa. And then Paul graduating from Lurker. I love it. Every day, I'm starting to get more and more people just jumping teams. It's just better to be on the other side of the lurkers than not. But make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons regardless. If you're a lurker, if you're a graduating lurker. Anna says, is the sound breaking up or is it just me? Somebody let me know. Let me know if I am breaking up. Um, sounds clear. So Lucian says clear. He doesn't want it to be. He much rather I break up, but unfortunately we can't get what we want sometimes. That's just life. We got Spy for today. So again, now that that retest has happened, we held that VPOC. We closed at least the VPOC right at the lows of this January 13th day. Are you kidding me? What a spot to close it. We did obviously get all the way back down. We ended up retesting, got very close into this one, 572.15. Didn't quite hit it, but if we start breaking back underneath this 575.95, I think we have a pretty quick trip on the markets that would take us into 572.05, and then you got we've almost retested that one. I think your next last I don't know about last spot, but before we break that next pivot, 570.20, you're starting to get close to that 200. If you're looking and searching for some hopium, that 200 might be it. Anytime we've gotten down there or close to it, we've gotten some kind of a bounce. We actually haven't hit. I think Calvin said this yesterday too. We haven't hit the 200 since October, and that was the bounce spot we took off. So if you're going to try to go bullish, maybe you're just waiting on that 200 to hit. We got very, very close to it yesterday. It looked like it was probably going to work its way in there for a hit and bounce, and just turned into a kind of a nothing burger. Kind of a nothing burger, but we will see. And then Q's again, all of this too is also moving off of news every single day. Do we have tariffs? Do we not have tariffs? How much of the tariffs? Are we getting reciprocal tariffs? I don't know if anybody had the pleasure of watching the State of the Union last night, but there was some tariff talk in there as well, and he was saying also that if whatever any other country wants to match us, we'll just match them back, and we're just gonna go back and forth with the tariffs. That's gonna be the headlines for a while. Uh, Anybody that watched the State of the Union, what do you guys think? Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? I think there was some. I think Trump was out there just throwing grenades yesterday. That's what I think. I don't know, but definitely some interesting. Yeah, it was long. It was actually the longest one, and it wasn't technically a State of the Union because it's his first term for this go around. So technically it wasn't State of the Union, but it was State of the Union-esque, I guess. Other than that, Q's, they also closed their VPOC right into that previous pivot of the last one, and we are still opening above it at this point. Q's managed to stay green. They managed to stay green yesterday, and we are slightly above it. So if we're going to use that as some kind of support, you do have some good risk to reward to the higher side. You did hit that 200. You got the bounce off of it, and also a high wave indecision. So we don't know what the heck is happening from here. But to the higher side, next target up would be 502.92. That has been hit already. So if we can get some momentum for the bull side, look for this 507.33. Other than that, unfortunately, I hate to be this guy, but if this is the candle that breaks, there's probably a much more pain ahead. We got 491.71 is the next support. We've hit that. You have your 200 somewhere around 490.60. We hit that. You have your next support at 488.40. We hit that. And then the next couple, we got 486.74 would be the target for today. Possibly getting to 485.64, but honestly, it just won't be a good look if we start breaking down the lows of yesterday, and then you got your next almost I don't know about today, but 480.86 all the way back down to now you're looking at support of 472.41, and there's a whole bunch of untested VPOCs all the way still down here at 449.81. So the road is long. The road is long. Maybe not as long as the State of the Union, but still could be quite the journey ahead of us. We got Bitcoin is for the moment getting a little bounce again. A couple candles closing under that 200. 2 days ago, we were able to get back above it. We are staying above it for now. Looks decent. Now we're just kind of pitting ourselves between the 200 and the 20. But more notably, at least we were back above 87,492, so it's kind of hanging in there. I haven't confirmed this, but Lydia in the chat yesterday said that there's supposed to be a Trump speech about the crypto reserve on Friday. So maybe treat that like an Apple event. Maybe we get some bids up into it. But your next target on Bitcoin, somewhere around 93,068. Clarice says better than Biden. Yeah, I don't know. And then there was interruptions on the I was like, what's Trump going to talk about? And then there's interruption. And then I don't know. I didn't see anybody talking about it, but um it was a magical speech, actually. I don't know if you guys even know. There was a miracle that happened during the speech. There was a shot of like the camera guy, he caught Nancy Pelosi in the very beginning. She was sitting there, she had her mask on. So either she was sick or she was something was happening. She had the mask on at the very beginning of the speech. They showed her again, there was no mask. So I don't know I think Trump cured her during the speech. She was like, I'm all better now. I don't know what happened, but crazy times. Crazy times. All right, we got a couple tickers coming in. We got AAPL. We got Apple. Not a great close yesterday. An okay open, like we're trying to hang in there. So watch this 236 18 zone. If that starts to break, I think your next target down is 231.18. We've been there before. We got 232.05. We've got 229.18 would be the next target that really has not been touched yet. So that would be target for today. If we get a breakdown, we're holding that 100. We're still opening in a good location. I don't have a lot of edge in this one. If right now, again, I'm watching that zone very, very closely. Not a great close yesterday for Apple, even though a lot of things kind of ran. Really, I think targets for today in a bullish case would be back in this 238.31, and I want to see a close above that again, and maybe there's some hope that we could actually kind of eventually break out of this thing in a bullish direction, still above a majority moving averages. But for right now, I think it's a no trade for me. At least at open, I don't think I have a lot of real sentiment one way or the other on it. Tesla. Tessie. Can't you see? Clary says she's still sick. I don't know. I'm just going off of what I see. That's it. I'm not her doctor. We got Tesla is right where it needs to be for a good indecision. So we did put in a high wave candle. I did get filled on round two of the pyramid, so I'm working my way into Tesla slowly, only to probably regret it later, but I'm slowly getting in there. Otherwise, we've got VPOC somewhere around 271.95. We are slightly above it. It is a inside day candle, so not a lot of edge, but I'd watch that 271.95 zone. If anything underneath it, I think we have a little bit more edge to the short side. If we could open up where we're opening, well, we did close this gap. Well, we closed the pivot. We still have this wide open gap all the way down to 252. Essentially, that's where my next buy level is on the pyramid. Other than that, maybe a little bit of a dip below kind of that last gap up. And is this this is the Trump gap, isn't it? Yeah, November 6th. So this is the Trump election gap. So we are right back below it, and we have not actually closed that gap yet. So that 252.22 is going to be a very interesting spot if we get there. For right now, though, yeah, at least have a little support below you, and maybe this thing is a bull run at open. We didn't quite get there, but 285.45 would be my target in a bullish direction. And then you got again 252 and change to the downside if we could kind of if we don't hold that support. MSTR. Well, we do have Coinbase that is running. MSTR is at that 200. In the master group, we're talking about the wave counts currently on things. Let's see if we could identify one here. To me, it looks a little bit like there's our probable downtrend. I think this is probably more of the pennant. This is probably the break, but we have to see how this kind of holds on this 200. Other than that, it's probably a previous ABC. This might be a 1, 2, 3. I don't know if that small move counts as 4. That would be a tiny one, but you maybe can make the case that was 4 or 5 into the 200, and then we take the bounce. Otherwise, you have really good volume, somewhere around 164.83 for a longer term target to the downside if we cannot hold this 200. I would also say this candle from yesterday, if we start breaking under it, then you have probably another $80 to the downside. Other than that, if we could hold it, okay, you could get some risk reward in a bullish direction, but be cautious of 322.93. That's still a decent amount of room, $40 to the higher side. So, and then obviously if we could break through, we break through. But for right now, and I think a lot is going to depend on Bitcoin, which looks a little healthy today, and we are holding that support. So I think I'd rather be bullish than bearish today on MicroStrategy. But again, just another inside day candle. KO. Coca-Cola, Warren Buffett. He's down slightly on his position. I think maybe he's panicking. He might be panicking. I don't know. Maybe is he rushing for the exits? But pretty big bearish engulfing candle yesterday. Again, safety play, good divvy. And we did see a little bit of risk on come in yesterday out of nowhere. And you're kind of getting that round two setup if you miss it yesterday in the overall market. It might be back here today. But other than that, it should be a retest. Your opening at support. I don't love the fact that we just took this candle out, but I think your retest on this one is probably into the $70.29 range. And if we could kind of get above that, then you have probably 70, 73. If the market is running bullish, then I think that's a really, really good target, $70.32 to the higher side. And if you're going to play that bearish engulfing candle, that would be a much better attempt to short somewhere in that range than just kind of shorting at support. But we'll have to see where this thing opens. The last line in the sand is 69.67. Past that, you got targets to the downside, 69.05 if we open up a little bit lower than that target. So maybe not a huge range. Coca-Cola typically doesn't unless it's the last 2 days. It was decent. decent daily candle range out of nowhere. But other than that, you're also at a longer term kind of resistance. So if you're gonna hit this double top, it makes sense. You had a fantastic gap. I think this one probably, and I think earnings were decent on this one. Guidance maybe not. I don't know, but they beat on earnings by 6% on earnings per share. They did come in with an extra 721 million. But a 50% retracement of this move to the downside would take us into that 68.99, and then we have to see what happens from there. But would make sense we get into the higher, definitely some momentum in a bullish direction. But there's probably a little bit of profit taking, some weakness at open, see if there's a bounce, and then if you want to try to play it, I'd see if I can short it a little bit higher. Otherwise, it is Coca-Cola. I don't think you're gonna have people running for the exits, but if the market starts to bounce, the Coca-Cola names will not perform as strong as the last probably few days. All right, let's see. We got a couple of other tickers in here. Catching the vid. I don't know. Maybe she had it, but then maybe she's a super spreader. I don't know. Baba, BABA. Maybe he lit hands on her. I don't know. He gave the Trump stare. That's what I think it was. Nobody's cured Pelosi better than I did. All right, we got Baba is nice little gap up on this one. Technically a retest gap. However, I don't think we retest this 130.61. If we do, I'd probably stay away. I wouldn't be buying it. If it can open where it's at, that's a good location. You have a lot of room to the bull direction, up to 137.71. If we open below it, and I think this would be a good retest, even if we open, if we get some kind of a pullback, watch this 133 zone. Somewhere around 133.02, maybe get down to, and I don't even like this one, but 132.56. I'd rather see that 133 hold on a quick pullback, quick flush at open, some immediate profit taken from yesterday. But if we open up here, this is a little bit stronger. I don't really want to see too much of a pullback, but I like it bullish. It looks good in a bullish direction. It's got a little bit of room to run on it, which is nice. If we get some momentum to start coming in, we will see. Nvidia. Oh yeah, and then crowd strikes again for the Bears. You got Nvidia is chilling for now. Um, all we really did, even though this is a good green candle, momentum came in. All we really did was retest the prior day's VPOC somewhere around this 118.89. So we will have to get above that, and then you have your next target right in the 200 on the daily. Also VPOC right there, 121.79. I think that's your target for the bull side if we can get up there. Other than that, probably a little chop. You have some support, which is a weak one, 116.51, and we are currently opening below yesterday's VPOC as well, somewhere around 117.52. So I don't know. I think it's a little chop. I don't love the fact we're below today's VPOC. We are definitely still in a downtrend, and I think that probably weighs in on it a little bit. Otherwise, if you're trying it for a swing trade, well, bless your heart. But 110, put that in for your stops. You start breaking down. Maybe there was some bulls trying to come in, but you really have to start seeing this uh start getting closing above some of those previous VPOCs, really to say we're flipping. But we did manage to close inside this range, even though we had some scary moments on Nvidia. And if you like Nvidia long term, again, it's at 110. It's better to buy it here than if it gets back to 150, where essentially everyone lines up for. Personally, if this thing drops down to like 88, 89, that would be a better spot for me. So I'm kind of in do nothing zone, but you do have probably a little chop zone until we get proven one way or the other. Wendy, you have orders at 100. Yep, sub 100. Nice. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Like for a longer term hold for day trade, obviously. I don't know. I'd short it all the way down to that 100 if we start breaking some key levels. Primarily this one that we just talked about. We get back underneath this 116.37. I think that's a sign Write it on down. Lucian says the econ data points 9:45 and 10 final PMI and SMI. They've all been big misses lately. We're not even. I don't know who these guys are, but it's either they should be trying to take guesses on the economy or work for like a weather station because apparently those are the two jobs you could have. Not even close on the last like housing report and everything that's come out lately has just been so far off of estimates that it's not even. Which is going to set us. That's going to tee us up for Jerome Powell. Uh, I don't know. How do you what model is he using for the economy at this point? I don't know. But you have CrowdStrike. It is yeah, so they had earnings. They weren't bad. They weren't I think it was more guidance than anything. But they came in at 17-cent beat, so 20% earnings per share, and then you have 23 million extra on the revenue side of things. I think this is just a case of it just got pumped too high, starting to get into some volume. So support somewhere down at this 349 zone. If you get down there, if we start breaking it, your last chance is 341.44. That's also right around that 200. Um, it is a gap and go technically from yesterday, but even yesterday's candle was all just retest as well. And you are into some support. So again, I don't know if it's got a huge range either direction on it, but I think it was an okay report. I don't think it was that bad. It was just probably they made a big mistake. I will say they chose the wrong day to report on. Yesterday was not the you don't want your earnings coming out yesterday. There's if everything ran bullish yesterday and then they came out, you'd actually probably see a gap up on CrowdStrike today. But we will see. All right, what do we got? 6 more minutes left. AMD from Clarice. Yeah, AMD, also SMCI, both of them actually held up a little bit better than Nvidia did yesterday for at least most of the day. I don't know where they closed at, but AMD has got its work cut out for it for sure. We were again retest gap. That was a heck of a retest. I didn't think we were gonna get up there. I thought maybe you got some resistance around 99.57. Should have been a big one. But now let's see if that one holds as support. So we'll go 99.66. Other than that, we have to start getting back above 101.03. The good news from yesterday is we did get through there once. We also got through that next resistance, 102.48, and that could take targets into 104.95, which would be a dream for some. But yeah, so that would be my target for today, but I would wait. I would either be looking to buy it off of 99.66 and then 101.03. Keep in mind, it's probably due for a bounce. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inside day, seven straight selling days, and let's not even flip to the weekly, but I already did it. So that is quite the downtrend that we've had. So decent spot. You have a little bit of a potential double bottom down here. Whether it holds or not, I don't know. We haven't really seen bulls step in, so almost again for like a longer term perspective, I want to see almost a pivot be made. You get some kind of higher high somewhere, right? Higher low somewhere, and then I think you have momentum that starts to come in a little bit. We're still in catch the knife falling zone, so I don't and going to rely heavily on the overall market, which is absolute chop fest. Um, Probably one of the biggest chop fests I've seen in a very, very long time on this market. It's either you time it right and you are feeling great, or you time it a second too early and it's all over. That was it. But yeah, even this volume zone, bigger volume zone is at 107.11. We haven't retested that, so maybe we could hang in there. But there was a big breakdown candle, just resting for now, and not bad to try it in a bullish direction as long as you're above that previous VPOC 101 or higher from that point. You get hosed, yeah, yeah. That's the nice way to put it. All right, you got XYZ still not functioning correctly. They're nobody's every time I see a company either change its name or ticker symbol, they go through at least a year and a half of just getting clobbered. So I don't know. I don't know why people continue to do it, but it has not been a proven bullish strategy. Even Meta went from Facebook to Meta, and then they got clobbered, and everyone was like, "Nah, I don't like it anymore." But the business is the same. Doesn't matter. Name's different. I don't like it. But they're still having their name change woes. Looks like so. Still breaking down. Um, Good news, you hit a VPOC, you got to bounce 57.94. Bad news is we've hit that VPOC and we've already messed with it. That takes our lower ones into like $57.10. That's the zone that kind of has to hold. Even for today, not a lot of sentiment, just opening inside yesterday's range, which it was a gap down. We saw AMD, we saw some other names bounce back, actually hit the VPOC from yesterday out of nowhere. Not even enough energy on XYZ to get there. So I think big resistance for today, $6.50. I would wait to go bullish until you get above that. Otherwise, I think playing into the bear side still makes some sense. See if you get maybe a little bit of a further bounce higher, and I think continuing to short this one for right now. They got no love. I thought they could get a little bit after. David Cook speaks, wants to talk tobacco. He wants to be talking that tobacco game. Very similar to Coca-Cola. Safety play, still a good dividend. I think it's still, I forget what we said yesterday, like 7.5% divvies. Relatively safe play. Um, where people will kind of hide some cash for shelter. I'm in it. I'm not going anywhere. Other than that, you had a good move. You hit, I think, 52-week highs. It's not all time, I don't think. Yeah, not all-time highs yet. Almost, yeah. You got tweezers on a monthly. We finally got above that. We're gonna need a closing back above it. But again, good move, strong move. As you're starting to get up to the highs, there's gonna be people that hopped in at 41, and they're gonna want to lock some gains in, especially in a crazy market. So I think that's just what we're seeing at this point. I think we eventually do get this break, and then you're probably looking for targets into like 60, 50, maybe back to like 65. I'll give you my price target. It's like 125. So. I think there's still value in it, but that's over a much longer time period. Or based on this market, tomorrow, one of those, I'm not sure. One of it will hit. I think eventually it's going to hit, but we'll see. Otherwise, for today, again, pulling back, look for some support up 56.11 or resistance around 56.86 for today. But you are pretty high on this one. I don't know if I really want to play to the bear side quite yet. But unfortunately, that is the morning bell. So, well, fortunately and unfortunately, but everybody in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons for my people that just transferred from lurker to non-lurkers. I appreciate you guys, but you guys are also